Disney cut a massive number of films from Frozen. Most of them would have completely changed the movie. Some were truly wild, like Elsa as the actual villain with an army of snowmen, or controversial songs that were too dark for Disney. Today, I've gathered all of the original concepts and ideas as well as deleted scenes for Frozen. Before we get into the specific details, you need to understand that Frozen went through massive transformation during production. The movie that we know and love today is drastically different from what Disney had originally planned. In fact, Frozen holds the record as one of Disney's most reworked animated films ever, with the story changing dramatically even months before release. The original concept was much darker and based more faithfully on the Hans Christian novel, The Snow Queen. In that version, Elsa wasn't a misunderstood hero. She was a straight up baddie, a straight up villain. And Anna and Elsa, they weren't even sisters. Yeah, let me tell you, it gets absolutely insane, and I'm here for it. Let's start with the biggest change of all. Originally, Elsa was conceived as the main antagonist of Frozen. Not just a scared girl who accidentally hurts people, a genuine, calculating villain. Up there with the likes of the Evil Queen and Maleficent. In early concept art, Elsa looked completely different. Her skin was actually blue, her hair was spiked and aggressive looking, and she wore a dress made of living white minks with a giant snowflake-shaped crown. Her appearance was reportedly modeled after singer Amy Winehouse and bore similarities to the Disney villain Hades. Which, being a huge Hercules fan, I kind of vibe with this. I kind of want this to happen. I mean, side note, I've always really wanted like a story where Anna and Elsa are pinned against each other from different sides of a war. And after Frozen 2, that's always been my theory that maybe Frozen 3 or Frozen 4 will touch on that, where they actually have to put the sisters against each other. This could be a good idea. This could be really cool where Elsa changes into a villain. There's actually a deleted scene called Never Underestimate the Power of Elsa that shows just how villainous she was supposed to be. In this scene, a character named Admiral Westerngard, who eventually became Prince Hans, sends 2 Arendelle castle guards to Elsa's ice palace on the North Mountain to find Anna. But Elsa discovers them, imprisons the guards in ice, and interrogates them. After learning that Admiral Westerngard is raising an army against her, Elsa reveals that she has amassed her own army of snowmen. This wasn't Marshmallow and a few snow goons. No, this was a full military force. The scene plays with ominous music, and Elsa is cold, calculating, and genuinely threatening. This actually makes me so upset because I hate Prince Hans as a villain. I think he's the worst prince villain person ever in Disney history. So knowing that Elsa could have been a big baddie, I love the movie we got, but come on, man. In this version, there was an ancient prophecy that foretold a ruler with a frozen heart will bring destruction to the kingdom of Arendelle. And everyone believed this referred to Elsa, though in a twist, it actually referred to Hans. Which is pretty cool because it actually shows like how a villain kind of turns good and a good person turns bad. It's really interesting. Plus, it would have made Hans a lot better. The original plot had Elsa intentionally freezing Anna's heart so she could rule over Anna's kingdom. She would kidnap Anna to prevent her wedding and use her snow creatures to attack the town. This was supposed to be Anna's villain through and through. But then everything changed. Everything changed because of one song. Songwriters Robert Lopez and Christian Anderson Lopez were tasked with writing music for villain Elsa. They created Let It Go, seeing it as a villain song about a woman coming to terms with her own power. But when they finished it, they realized something. This wasn't a villain song. This was an anthem about freedom, self-acceptance, and breaking free from expectations. The song was so powerful and impactful that instead of changing the lyrics to fit the villain's story, the filmmakers made the radical decision to change the entire story to fit the song. Elsa transitioned from villain to sympathetic anti-hero, and the entire movie pivoted to become a story about sisterhood rather than good versus evil. This single decision meant that dozens of songs and story beats had to be completely scrapped. I can only imagine the work that went into this. Imagine writing an entire movie just to be like, you know what? I really like that song. Let's just throw away that script and start over. Crazy if you ask me. According to co-director Chris Buck, the original opening scene of Frozen showed Elsa being left at the altar during her wedding. This heartbreak is what gave her ice powers in that version, like a curse born from wishing to escape emotional pain. Which is an interesting concept because most people wish that Elsa, and still to this day in future movies, want her to stay single and not be like the typical she finds a prince or whatever. So this was interesting because she started that way. It started her whole villainy arc. This would have made Frozen yet another Disney movie centered on romantic love and its consequences. Elsa's character arc would have been about the dangers of romantic relationships rather than about family, self-acceptance, and the power of sisterly love. Thank goodness for them they scrapped this idea, because it ended up working in the long run for them. This decision to make Elsa's powers inherited from her mother's connection to the tribe, revealed in Frozen 2, is definitely more interesting and ties into themes of heritage, nature, and family legacy. But that wasn't all that was canned. Obviously, there was a bunch of songs that were also deleted. The most famous deleted song from Frozen is Life's Too Short, and it's the one that was fully recorded by Idina Menzel and Kristen Bell with storyboard animation. The fact that it made it that far in production shows how attached the filmmakers were to it. Life's Too Short was supposed to replace For the First Time in Forever. It takes place when Anna arrives at Elsa's ice palace, and at first, things seem to be going well. The sisters are reconnecting, singing about how they've been falling out for way too long and should forget who's right and forget who's wrong. But then Anna makes a crucial mistake. She suggests that Elsa put her gloves back on and return to Arendelle, and this sets Elsa off completely. The song turns bitter and confrontational. Anna accuses Elsa of always slamming doors in her face. Elsa fires back that Anna is a fool who married a stranger, and the sisters trade increasingly harsh insults, with Anna suggesting maybe Elsa is the prophesized villain.
But I'm the only one who is not 100% convinced the prophecy's you.
And the song ends with them both singing, "Life's too short to waste another minute, life's too short to even have you in it," before Elsa accidentally blasts Anna's heart with ice. What a completely 180 of what we got in the actual movie. Like, this would have been a totally different vibe, and I kind of am here for it, man. I like the dark turns that Disney takes with their stories before they're like, nah, that's too much. While it's an incredibly catchy and well-written song, it made the sisters seem too angry and mean-spirited towards each other, and that's ultimately why they decided to go a different direction. The final version song is much more sorrowful and focuses on regret rather than anger, which better serves the emotional arc that they were trying to tell. But at the end of the day, let's all be honest, I kind of want to see that version. There was also supposed to be a reprise of this song in the third act when Elsa is imprisoned and Anna is freezing to death. In this deleted version, both sisters reflect on their mistakes and begin to see each other's point of view. The reprise includes beautiful musical callbacks to Do You Want to Build a Snowman, and has both sisters singing about how they were sadder but wiser. It would have been a perfect third act song, and honestly, it's a shame that this one got cut because the melody is gorgeous and heartfelt. And I get they ultimately cut it to save time and they thought other songs were better to keep in the movie. But it is interesting that certain very, very good scenes in Disney's history of movies, they decided to cut. And I will never, ever figure out why that happens. Even if it adds another 5 minutes to the movie, does it matter really that much? There was also a scene where it was Anna's original introductory song, meant to replace For the First Time in Forever. It was called More Than Just the Spare. It comes from an earlier version of the script that focused heavily on the heir and the spare dynamic. Elsa being the perfect heir to the throne, while Anna was the overlooked, useless spare. In the song, Anna compares herself to an extra button on a coat that's only there in case another one comes loose, and to a rusty horseshoe, wishing the horse had one leg more. Kinda depressing, if you ask me. The lyrics were actually quite emotional. Maybe I don't have a magic touch, and maybe I don't have a talent as such. Just this heart with much too much to share. So I'll never be the heir, but I'm more than just the spare. That song doesn't get the audience crying, I don't know what will. The song ends with Anna clumsily bumping into someone, presumably Hans, just like For the First Time in Forever. While the song has some beautiful moments, it made Anna seem too self-pitying and focused on comparing herself to Elsa, which is ultimately why it got cut. The final version, For the First Time in Forever, focuses instead on Anna's isolation and excitement about the gates finally opening, while better establishing her optimistic, forward-looking personality, while also supporting her sister, which is something that the other one kind of made it feel like, you know, she was left out and cold-hearted towards her sister because she got everything. I kind of wish that this was in there because it would have added a different dynamic for Anna and Elsa, but I honestly don't think it was needed because For the First Time in Forever song kind of sums that all up, you know? This was the very first song written for Frozen, and it was called We Know Better. And it features young Elsa singing to baby Anna, and then later as a duet between the child princesses. Young Elsa sings to Anna, "You're a princess just like me. Bet you're thinking maybe it's a pretty cool thing to be. But soon you'll see that everyone expects a lot from you. They'll say that there are things a princess should and shouldn't do, but you and me, we know better." The song has hilarious lyrics where they describe the princes who will pursue them as having royal DNA. It also included details about how the village children see Elsa as a freak and how townspeople actually fear her and spread rumors about her powers. While charming, this song really doesn't add too much. It was cut because it front-loaded too much exposition and made Elsa's isolation scene more about public perception than about protecting her sister, which in the final version, if you remember, she is very scared, not only because the town doesn't like her, but also because she hurts her younger sister, which is definitely a better story arc in my opinion. There was also a song that was a duet between Anna and Hans called You're You. But unlike Love is an Open Door, it was meant to show Hans' manipulative nature from the very beginning, kind of spoiling the whole movie. In the song, Hans actively negs Anna, singing, "Other people walk through life where you prefer to skip, and other people watch their step where you most likely trip. But sure, your hair's not perfect, and there's, what's that on your clothes? And yeah, you're kind of talkative with freckles on your nose." The idea was that socially repressed Anna would interpret this as Hans telling her she's perfect the way she is, while really he's manipulating and belittling her. The song was ultimately cut because it made Hans too obviously villainous too early. The filmmakers wanted his betrayal to be a genuine shock, and having him be mean-spirited from the start would have telegraphed the twist, which is still true. Like, I still feel like Han still sucks as a villain. I don't think he's very scary compared to like a Maleficent or an evil queen or anything like that. But it would have been cool to see like another song between them. But I get that Love is an Open Door. It definitely makes you not really feel like Hans is a bad guy. But there was also a lot of deleted scenes besides these deleted songs. That's the word. That was in Frozen. This deleted scene was supposed to take place before Elsa's coronation. It shows Anna and Elsa in a shared dressing room between their bedrooms, a space they couldn't avoid each other in. In the scene, Elsa accidentally freezes a vase of flowers, causing it to shatter, and Anna quickly enters and covers up the mess with a cloth. She notices Elsa and starts going through the wardrobe, trying on different dresses and goofing around, making Elsa genuinely laugh. Anna tries on several ridiculous outfits, but then Anna accidentally touches Elsa and the mood shifts. Before they can discuss it, they're interrupted by a royal handler, a character who eventually became the Duke of Weselton. It's interesting how characters, change as the production goes along, where you start seeing them like, oh, they were originally this and then this, like the polar bear in Zootopia. Much the same with the Duke of Weselton. Directors Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee explained that they love the idea of sisters sharing space and bothering each other's stuff, but once they committed to keeping the sisters divided throughout the story, they realized this scene contradicted that emotional separation. Although relatable, it does make sense that it was cut based on the story arc they were wanting. If Elsa was truly shutting Anna out, they wouldn't be hanging out in a dressing room laughing together. It is quite a shame though, in my opinion, because I kind of wish this was still in there. Even if it kind of messed up the story arc a little bit, I really like this scene because it's genuine, sweet, funny, and shows the dynamic that the sisters have even though they are forced to kind of be away from each other. It almost makes you feel for them a little bit more. There were actually several different versions of how Anna first meets Kristoff, and none of them involved Wandering Oak's trading post. In one deleted scene, we see Kristoff scaling a mountain cliff, then using a rope to haul Sven up behind him. He proudly announces to Sven,
Here we are, buddy. Our summer oasis.
This was meant to establish Kristoff as a skilled outdoorsman. While it's a cool character introduction, the scene was cut because it wasted on a secondary character without connecting to Anna or Elsa's story. Every scene needed to push the main plot forward, and this was just showing off Kristoff's mountain climbing skills. Although, it would have been cool to see. In another deleted Meet Kristoff scene, a sled pulls up in front of Anna, covering her in snow. Kristoff steps out and offers Anna a towel while feeding Sven. He then asks about receiving a reward for bringing news about missing Queen Elsa. Anna eagerly introduces herself, and Kristoff presents himself as Kristoff Jorgman, but avoids answering her questions and keeps asking about payment. This version made Kristoff seem too mercenary and focused on money rather than the rough around the edges but good-hearted character we got in the final film. And I do agree, I do feel like this one is just not one that really fits what we want with Kristoff. He's supposed to be that loving guy, not being a guy, hey, like, where's my payment? I could care less if you're the princess or not. So definitely would have made the whole Frozen 2 marriage arc happen. And there you have it, some of the major deleted scenes and songs from the original Frozen. The original plot was much different than what we ended up getting in the final version. From evil Elsa with her army of snowmen to heartfelt songs about belonging and identity, these deleted moments show the incredible amount of work that goes into creating a Disney animated movie. And the most valuable lesson from the deleted content, sometimes the things you cut are just as important as the things you keep. Frozen became a cultural phenomenon not despite these cuts, but because of them. Every deletion brought the film closer to its true emotional core. The power of love between sisters. But what do you guys think? Would you have wanted to see an evil villain Elsa on the big screen? And which deleted scene surprised you the most? Let me know your comments down below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Frozen, I think you enjoyed this Cars video that I did. And don't forget to check out this playlist because there's a lot more in there for you too. And I, Josh Beatty, will see you guys over there. Bye-bye.